October is Dyslexia Awareness Month, and today there was an event at the Legislature talk about more supports in BC. Our next guest was the organizer and MC of that event. Cathy McMillan is founding member of Dyslexia BC. Cathy, hi there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gloria. Thanks for having me.
So why was it important for you to take this issue to the Legislature today?
Well, not a lot has changed I don't know if you know about the Rick Moore case, but it is 11 years now since that case came through the BC Human Rights Tribunal, and dyslexic students are still kind of being left behind, and there's no funding for that special needs category. It is the only one that does not get diagnosed under MSP. Even ADHD, you can get diagnosed under MSP, and parents have to pay out of pocket $3,000 to $4,000 to get a diagnosis. It's not for people that don't have money. It's the only kids getting through that have dyslexia or any type of learning disability are ones that come from means.
Now, you had speakers at your event, you invited all the MLAs, and you did have a chance to meet with BC's Education Minister, Rachna Singh. How did that conversation go?
It went pretty well. We pretty much told her, or asked her politely, if we could have legislation and policy to have children screened for dyslexia starting in kindergarten, and to switch the curriculum to use science-based literacy so that our kids are included, because as well, parents are paying out of pocket to get science-based literacy because it's the only type of instruction that works for kids with learning disabilities.
Now, why is it important for this funding for the screening of learning disabilities to be included in actual legislation?
It's super important so that it actually gets done. Right now in the U.S., almost everyone but one state, I think Hawaii is the only one that hasn't made dyslexia-specific legislation, and they've made big strides down there in terms of making gains with reading and having kids have higher literacy rates. And the legislation stems everything from screening starting in kindergarten, the use of structured literacy, teacher training, because the teachers need to actually know how to use structured literacy, and also supports. So unless it's legislated, our kids will get left behind.
Well, and how crucial is the early detection of dyslexia and other learning abilities?
Well, after grade 4, they say it's 4 times harder to remediate anybody with a learning difficulty. So a child that has severe to profound dyslexia, by the time they get to grade 4, their self-esteem is almost shot. I'd say almost in grade 1, a lot of the ones with severe to profound dyslexia get very low self-esteem. And then on top of that, reading issues, they've got self-esteem issues, and it's really hard to bring them back up.
Well, and what's involved in the early screening process? How long does this typically take?
Well, it takes approximately 15 to 20 minutes, and it costs about maybe $10 to $20 per child, and you get to flag the children that need the support as early as possible, and then you can target your intervention so that it is targeted towards their deficiencies, and that way you target the remediation, you get better results because you know exactly what the problems are.
Now, Cathy, you're a founding member of Dyslexia BC. Off the top, you were talking about what hasn't changed in the last decade plus. Are you seeing changes, though? Any kind of shift in how dyslexia is being viewed or supported?
There's a lot of information out there right now because the reading wars, which have always been there, have been really loud lately because of all this legislation that's being made in the States. However, people just get the language. They say evidence-based, structured literacy or whatever, and then you get all this advertising. We need trained professionals in each district to try to make sure that the programs and the interventions that these students get are good ones, not just, oh, well, this looks like a good one. Look how well it's advertised. It doesn't work that way. Every kid is different, and they need supports based on what their needs are.
Listen, thank you very much for making time for us and taking us through your day at the legislature as well.
Thank you so much, Gloria.
Well, I'm sure you're well aware there